Hi, Sunshine here. Welcome back and thank you for joining me today, or tonight rather, as it is Sunday evening, the 9th of January. And as it's getting into the second week of this new year, I just wanted to stop and do a video that's kind of a reflection of my goals, intentions, and setting a habit. And we'll start with the setting the habit part. The habit I want to set is actually a morning routine. I find that I am no longer a morning person. Whenever I was younger, I used to wake up really about 5:45 every morning. I would catch the school bus. It would go by my house about 6:45 to 7 o'clock. And so I like to get up, have plenty of time to do my hair and my makeup and get everything laid out. At the time I had one of the little CD players with the headphones. I would listen to that on the couch and just kind of relax for the last 20 minutes or so before the bus would be time to go by the house. Whenever I got married, my husband was an insomniac and he had difficulty sleeping no matter what time of the day it was, so I tended to stay up later with him. He was definitely not a morning person, and so wanting to spend more time with him, I kind of adjusted more to his routines. And now here lately, especially not having him to wake up to, and my little boy being, raring to go, it makes it kind of hard because I'm not a morning person anymore. I actually kind of dread the start of each new day, which I really don't want to feel like that anymore. I want to respond to it in a more grateful, seize the day kind of way. And so with that being said, I want to establish a morning routine. Mainly what that will look like, I want to read a devotion. I've actually got a very good devotion that I have been reading. I'm about 3 days into this. It's called Moments with the Savior, a devotional life of Christ by Ken Geyer. And it's a really neat way of laying out the devotion. What caught my attention, my companion's cousin had actually had a whole stack of books, and I didn't want to gather up too many books because I am, as I will get to in the next section of this video or segment, I am working on minimalizing, and I've gone through a lot of my books, so whenever she had this big stack of books, I didn't really want to bring in more whenever I had gotten rid of some that I would have possibly liked to read, but just didn't want to keep that much clutter on my shelves because they were overflowing. But I saw this, and it's got, the thing that caught my eye is the meditation section. And I have really enjoyed this so far. It's got a different perspective on things. But anyway, the morning routine, I want to wake up to drink water, yay. The just rehydration in the morning. I can tell a difference whenever I hurry and get ready. I've slept in late, hit the snooze button as much as I can possibly hit it, and then just rush through, take a few sips of water, and I feel like my brain's kind of lagging, like I'm lacking that focus, versus if I drink a whole tumbler before I go to work in the mornings. So my routine is going to be to wake up, to hydrate, to read this, and then to practice my yoga. I like to follow along, like I said, with Keno McGregor. The 30-day beginner challenge is where I started, and I really hadn't followed along, or followed through for that matter, with anything until I found her channel and found that specific series of videos. And it didn't get done in 30 days. It took me more like 45 days probably, because I would put it back or be like, today's not really a good day for me. I got to wake up early and we've got to go up here, or we've got to go do this. but I started it right whenever my son had started kindergarten, so that, summer going in, transitioning into fall, it was still nice and warm, and it was daylight early, and I would wake up and be energized and ready to get it, and now it's the winter time, and I'm like, let me just stay under the covers. I don't want to get up right now, and I'm going to try to work on fighting that and just overcoming that. So that basically is the habit that I want to set for this month. I'm setting monthly goals. I find that with me, I tend to do better in small segments. Like if I have a designated time versus having a whole year, like all of 2017, well, it can get done next month, put it off. Procrastination, that's one of my things I've said in previous videos that I struggle with, is procrastination. And so I figure if I look at it on a monthly goal, it's easier to see if, one, I'm getting to my goals, like if I'm reaching those goals, if I'm making those habits. I know that habits take, I've heard 21 days a lot of times, but really it depends on the person. So this habit, it might not establish fully by the end of January, but I want to see myself more working toward that. And one of the benefits I know will be I will be in a better mood. I will be able to be more positive for my son. He'll see me more seizing the day than dreading the day. And I will feel better. I'll perform better at work because I'm thinking more clearly and in a more peaceful state of mind. Okay, so that's the habit part. Intention. I actually looked that up. I Googled that before I started this video, and I found that in the difference between intentions and goals, the main thing I found, intentions are more present-minded. Like an intention in yoga might be to breathe fully, to be more in the moment, A goal is more future-oriented, more something that you have to work toward achieving, and not as dead set on, I can work to make this happen as it's happening, if that makes any sense. Goals, you change, your circumstances change over the course of time in trying to achieve them, whereas intentions, you're more in the moment and actively working on intentions. So that's what I take from that. My intention for my life, is to be more in the present, to not get so in my head that I'm getting frustrated at my surroundings. Like this evening, whenever I was washing the dishes, I put that off, procrastination, and my son was in there kind of underfoot, just right behind me making noise. I had a podcast going because I found a really awesome app, Castbox, by just listening to the podcast on my phone and having that up loud. And so he was trying to talk louder over the podcast. I had the water running, and it was just a lot of noise, a lot of too much input going on in my head and making me frustrated. But yet he's in the kitchen because he wants to spend time with Mama, and I feel honored and I'm grateful that he wants to spend time with me, because I know in a few years he's gonna want to be off doing his own thing. He's not gonna want to be right there where I'm at. And so just being more intentional of stepping back and being like, this podcast, I can put it on pause. I can always go back and listen to it later. He's having a good time. Don't get frustrated. Don't shush him. Just enjoy him being there and enjoy him being joyful. And it really put me in a better perspective. Yeah, I talk with my hands a lot. Anyway, so that's intention. My goals, I have several for January. The two main goals that I wanted to share, one is more a environmental goal, and one is more a health, physical goal. I've started on the 30 Days to Simplify challenge Muchelleb is doing. I am currently on day 2. I believe she is on day 3. I like to get the email to watch the video the day before. That way the day that I'm doing the challenge, like say for instance today was decluttering the wardrobe. I have gone through, I actually got rid of a hefty bag. I still have way too many clothes. Like I counted 60 articles of clothing just hanging up. That's not counting my tank tops that I've rolled. That's not counting my casual pants that I have vertically folded in totes. Not counting my leggings, my socks, underwear, any of that. That's just like scrubs and professional looking clothes, dresses, sundresses, things like that that I hang on hangers. Way far from where I want to be as a minimalist, but I am on that journey. But anyway, I watched the video for that last night, and then I worked toward that today. Tomorrow will be books. I watched the video and read the notes on that, and tomorrow I will again work on my bookshelf. Anyway, so that is my environmental challenge this month, which the time frame for that is the 30 days. I found in what I'm learning, watching the different channels, listening to the different podcasts on goals, is it helps to have specific goals in mind with a timeline, and not only what you want the end result to look like, but how you're going to get to that end result. And I think that's where I always struggle. You can see in the background here, I have a guitar, I have a keyboard. I can't play either of them. I have had them for well over a year. This one I have had for probably 6 to 7 years, and I still can't play more than Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I have set goals in the past specifically to learn a musical instrument or to learn a language, and just been like, well, you know, by the end of this year I want to be playing the guitar, or by the end of this year I want to play the keyboard. And it didn't happen. And I would get frustrated and be like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. And still I feel a little intimidated whenever I think about it. Whenever I set the goal, I didn't set a plan of action as to how I was going to achieve that. So with this isn't my focus for January, but if I were to say set a goal of I want to play the keyboard, I wouldn't just say that vaguely. I would say by the end of February I want to be able to play this specific song on the keyboard, and then I would learn the keys and the rhythm to do that. That would be how I would approach it now. But this month I'm working on the 30 Day Simplify Challenge, and Muchelleb made it very simple. You have a checklist. Each day you check off an item, and that gives you an idea of staying on track. And so by the end of that 30 days, I hope to have a space that I can walk into whenever I come home from work or come back from taking Noah to karate, and to be at peace, to not feel like I'm overwhelmed by what I own, to not feel like I have all of this maintenance, all of this busyness, that I can enjoy time with my son, that I can relax and do things that I want to be doing instead of maintaining. And so My second goal is, I'm gonna say this the best I can, to be able to do the Ekapada Sirsasana pose, which is the leg behind the head. I will link to Kino's video on this, and basically it's to improve my flexibility is my more vague goal. This is more time-oriented, how I can gauge my flexibility type of goal. I'm already somewhat flexible, but I have never, even as a child, been able to put my foot completely behind my head. I want to be able to look back at this video and at the end of January see how far I've come, and hopefully that will be completely with my foot behind my head. And so in this, I'm going to share with you how far I can do right now. And so I'm going to bring my foot in and keep my knee bent out to the side and forward instead of back behind me. I can bring it to my forehead and almost behind my head, but that's as far as it's going. Alright, and that was with my right leg. So again, with the left leg, I'm going to bring it up and to my forehead, and yeah, about right here. That's as far as I can get. Alright, so that is my physical goal. Also, I'm going to say this as an intention because it's something present focused, is to be grateful. So gratitude in this video, I just wanted to say shout out to my Aunt Linda for getting me these really comfortable pajamas for a Christmas present, and also to Karen, my mother-in-law through my husband, for getting me this really nice Yeti mug with my initials on it, to help me be comfortable and to help me hydrate. So I am grateful for the items, but I'm very grateful for the love in my life. And I hope that you guys have a blessed night. I hope that you find this inspiring to set goals and have good intentions to better, be your best selves. Yeah, so good night, and I will hope to see you next time.